Podcast streams. Welcome to the 2218's Attitude for Gratitude live
What's
podcast.
up?
What's going
This
on?
is
right,
the
all
Right
right.
for Recovery podcast, boys and girls out there. I've got with me right now Rick, Mike, and Curtis, and these are just three of many that will be hopping on. You'll hear a little bit of noise, and that would be motorcycles pulling in for the Ride for Recovery down here at 2218 First Avenue South. Again, let me start by saying, if you're out there struggling, if you're feeling down in the dumps, if you're having a tough time, please just stick through it. Come on down to 2218. You're worth the fight. We all have times where we struggle, but just please reach out. You're worth the fight, and you are loved. Come check out what fellowship looks like down here at 2218. I can tell you this much is when I struggle and I get myself involved with some service and stuff like this, it really gets me out of my head. And it's worth a shot. Like I said, you're worth the fight, so fight for yourself. All right, my friend, who do we got here?
Curtis Miller, and I am
And you go ahead.
I am an alcoholic.
Yes,
and
you
drug
are.
addict.
And drug addict. So what's going on today? What are we here for?
Right now, well, we're actually here for fellowship. We're here to support 2218 and all of their endeavors. We do have our bike ride where kickstands up at 11 o'clock. Rider meeting before that. We've got a hog that is being rolled around right now in a nice oven.
Plus pounds.
Yeah, he's been cooking that bad boy out in the yard all night. So, and
I
then
had Ken on last night, and I didn't know that we were doing the pig, and he told me about it and some other things he's cooking. It's going to be some delicious food today.
it's gonna be real good.
And that's just one of many things that we have offered to eat, correct? Are
It
doing
is.
hot dogs, hamburgers.
We've
and-
got hamburgers, we've got dogs. I believe they're throwing on a bunch of turkeys as soon
12
as that
like
hog
up-
comes
yes,
off.
about 12 turkeys, and he was saying something about maybe some ribs, all sorts of good eats. Today's the day. So how long have you been involved in this world of recovery?
My sobriety date is 7/19/09.
Oh, 9, baby.
Yeah.
Hang on, we even have stuff for this.
All right.
So, just real quick, two things. First is, what does something like the Ride for Recovery mean for you in your recovery?
I kind of look at 2218 as my home base. When I got sober, I was pretty much stuck in the downtown area with sober housing, treatment centers. The whole nine works was here. You know, you could get any meeting you wanted from this area. So 2218 kind of took me in, welcomed me, and I lived here. I cooked in the kitchen for about 2 years.
You were really involved down here.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than service work, especially in the kitchen, because even when even when there's not a lot of people here, you get people that are struggling, just coming in off the street and really looking for somebody to talk to and direction for help. So that's what this is about for me. This is about giving back and hopefully being there for somebody else.
Right. No, and I'm grateful for you. I know that you and your wife have really kind of took the reins. You guys really stepped up for this. I know you don't like taking all sorts of credit, but I'll be the one to pat you on the back for this. Thank you. So, Big Curtis, I really appreciate you. Now you have one job to do, and that's to go find someone to replace your seat.
Sounds good.
We love you, and be safe out on the ride. Thank
Will
you, brother.
do.
Thanks, Curtis.
Love everybody out there. Absolutely.
All right, now you got to find me someone to replace your spot.
I will.
All right.
Darren.
He won't do it. I already tried him. So, around the table we go. Who am I looking at?
Mike B.
Mike B. Talk to me. How are you doing, and where are you at right now, and how do you know this place?
Well, first and foremost, it's absolutely a great day to be clean, right? And I know 2218 from in my journey. This was one of the one more last house on the blocks for me, and I came in, I got welcomed. I got some good recovery right here. Right now, I'm doing some service work, and honesty is my best policy right now. I'm actually here doing some service work because something has broken my spirit. So to keep my spirit alive, I must stay in the solution, right? So here I'm at 2218 doing some service work with my fellow recovering people.
We got Rick over here, myself, Tim. Alicia's about to take Mike. So, Mike, I've been here for a while, and I've been seeing you at another fellowship meeting for quite some time. How does your recovery look from 5 years ago to today? What's the big difference that you've noticed
Oh,
for yourself?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, man, because basically my life don't even belong to me no more. God has just taken over. So currently I'm in ministry school, man, and trying to help the still addict that's still suffering inside and outside our rooms, man. So it's absolutely a great day to be blessed. You know, you hit my spirit with this one, so I'm finna go hit somebody else's spirit and tell them to come along too. How about that?
We love you for it. I just want to thank you and say I'm grateful that you're part of this community. I love seeing your face when I hop in a meeting. Usually you're up by the front somewhere, and when you share, it's always poignant from the heart. Tell me one thing you're grateful for before you go find me another spot, another person to take your seat. What are you grateful for in life today?
I'm grateful that I can be a servant to my higher power, which I choose to call God, to go out there and get somebody who's still struggling from the disease of addiction or alcoholism. With that, I'm going to keep coming back, my brother.
I love you, Mike. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Again, we are down here at 2218 First Avenue South. This is the Ride for Recovery celebration. They will be pulling out at 11 o'clock. Mandatory safety meeting will be coming on at 10:45. Like to keep safety in the forefront. This isn't like in the past where they're out for 4 or 5 hours, but we are leaving in the city and coming back in the city, and we have to be aware of our surroundings. So as long as everyone's aware of what's going on, we will be good. So also, we've got so many sponsors that have stepped up and came to help out, and I was given a flyer, and I just want to talk about demo rides. This is simple ride, donated. It's a Yamaha situation here. Don't miss the opportunity to demo your choice of the new Yamaha on July 21st and 22nd, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go down and test ride bikes, everything from the Bolt R to the Supra 10s, the MT-09. There's tons of bikes. And the address is 7550 Washington Avenue South, Eden Prairie. I can't thank this company enough for what they're doing. They've really stepped up and helped out. Alicia could probably share with some of that stuff with the vendors that have helped out, people that have just donated. Without that, this doesn't happen today. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but what I'm going to do is bring it over to Rick. You like how I did that?
Yeah, I do. I watched it, yep.
Who are you?
I am Rick D.
Can you hear him? He sounded quiet, didn't he?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Will you just, son of a bee, take that seat. I think this one's out of commission. We're going to N86 that one. Your headphone is working just fine, wasn't it?
I can barely hear you.
All right, we're going to 86 that whole situation.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, my God.
There you are.
Hey.
It's like that herpy commercial. It's a brand new day. That wasn't a good analogy.
That wasn't a good analogy, no, it was not.
I always say that. It's like, I'm like, when I'm leaving a room, I'm like, just like herpes, I'll be back. That's my Arnold. Whatever. Ricky, talk to me. How
What's
are you
going
doing
on?
today?
Man, I am doing very well. I'm really grateful to be here today. I've been having the opportunity to wake up sober again today.
Okay. Now, what I need to know from you, Rick, is what you know what, we're at a Ride for Recovery. Has anything changed in your life when it comes to riding motorcycles? And if so, what has changed and how does that look? New bikes, I mean, what?
Well, man, I've been really blessed. You know, I've had a couple mishaps along the way. I've been in the program 5 years. I currently have 4 months of sobriety again.
Yeah, that's instead of me going.
So,
Hey, 24 hours is what matters. We know that.
oh
Well,
yeah, for sure.
congratulations on your 4 months. That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Alicia.
Matter
But
of fact, I'm going to stop you. With those type of ups and downs and I don't want to even call it struggles, but going back out, experimenting, doing this or medicinal that, whatever the case is, how hard was it for you to 4 months ago say, all right, this is the one, this is it? Or what was the thought process there?
well, look, when I relapsed a little over a year ago, it took me forever to come back in the rooms because I was so embarrassed. I was afraid of judgment. I was worried about people talking crap about me, and unfortunately, that does happen in the rooms. But it's all on
Happens
how
in
you
life,
take of it,
you know.
right? And you know, I'll be the first to say, for me, I'm not perfect at this. I have my faults every single day. But the fact of it is that I need to know where my limits are. And my limits are to not go and drink and do drugs. And what I found out, I tried getting high and coming into a room and speaking and working with others. Well, I'm telling you, that is the worst feeling in the world for me.
I saw you wrote something about something on those lines of, and I just put two and two together, something like maybe a little geef, and then you coming into a room, and that feeling was enough for you to be like, this ain't happening. It was uncomfortable, or what was, I don't need the dirty details.
I wasn't
think you
present,
shared.
man.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And being not present and trying to speak about your experience, strength, and hope, that shit don't work.
For you, it doesn't work.
For me, it didn't work. Absolutely, because I felt like I'm such a hypocrite. How am I going to go and try to share my experience when I'm sitting there getting high with people?
I get that. So, I don't know. I did a shitty thing by asking you next. I'm going to stop talking to you. You're staying there. Alicia, I know she's got a ton of stuff to do today because she's beast. She's got so many different irons in the fire. She's part of the reason why this is even happening today, and I don't care if she doesn't want to take credit for it. I'm here to give her the credit. Alicia, get on that mic. Tell us who you are and tell us how you're doing today.
Alicia, addict alcoholic.
Hi,
What's
Alicia.
up? I'm just super excited. I know that there was a lot of ups and downs and all arounds going around this event, but looking at all these bikes and all these people, it's just freaking amazing. Like, I'm so stoked right now. I just love what our recovery community does. They suit up and they show up no matter what. Totally love it. I understand the rain may scare people away, but we are doing this event all day long. We have backup plans, forward plans, reverse plans, like everything's still going to be happening. We have a silent auction going on. We have raffles. We're going to have rip your floats. We're going to have popcorn. We already have a pig on the grill going. I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a dunk tank. And Tim, our wonderful podcast,
You'll be watching from over here while
has been nominated as one of the contestants. Also, I'm a big fan of my husband, and all I know is that we went to Party City and we picked out the most epic costume.
It's better than last year's tutus.
It's times 100 better. It's like so amazing. I just can't even I think it's just so cool. So I'm so excited. We're gonna see who brings in the most money to get dunked. And we are just so stoked to have everyone down here. And again, if you don't ride, this is not, I know we call it Ride for Recovery, but it really is an all-day recovery event. So we have speakers, we have a comedian, we have two amazing bands coming down. So it's going to be a great time. So excited.
The ride is the fellowship aspect of this in the name of it. But like you said, I always try to make this real clear. Many people show I own bikes and I'm not going in the ride.
I'm not going on the ride either, and I have my own bike. Yeah. So
this is more of a fellowship.
This is a fellowship event, and like my kiddos are coming down. My daughter's going to be serving the root beer floats. Yeah. So you got to get them kids early on in service work.
That's right.
So just really excited. You guys really would love for you guys to come on down. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Alicia.
Not quite yet. Real quick.
Yes.
How long have you been involved with 2218?
I've been sober since 2005, so I've been coming in and out for a long time. I love to help a lot of the service commitments down here at 2218, but Fridley Alano is my home base. I have a ton.
Fridley Alano.
Yes.
Do they have anything to do with our day today?
They do, actually. So we are going to be swinging into Fridley Alano on the ride. Fridley Alano is my home. They are going to be serving free iced coffee and water to our riders. I'm super excited. And then also, I am going to give a shout out because
that's the last thing I was going to have you do is anyone that you can think of right now.
Well, really quick, Curtis and I are also putting a ride on for Fridley Alano on August 20th as well. So I will be getting you guys involved as well with that. Just need to get my brain settled on this event, and then we will have August 20th. It's going to be another ride. Really stoked about that. But we just have so many people. Tim, you guys, seriously, we probably have more people. I think 80% of people showed up today buying a wristband and still asked me how they could be a service and what they can do. So, everybody's just showing up and helping, and it's just so amazing. all the silent auction donations, all the raffle donations. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. And the deal is, I would not have the amount of sobriety I have today without giving back. My life I wouldn't feel attached to this program if I wasn't a part of it. So,
Alicia, I love you. Thank
I
you
love
for your
you.
service.
Thank
You will
you.
hop back on later when we reset up.
yeah. Yes.
Young man, belly up. It's only going to be for 2 minutes. I'm going to be doing my cycling. You'll hop on later. Right here? Yep. I'll have you back on in a little bit. And no, don't go nowhere because I got to get back to you. This is check-in time, and I'm going to have you come back. So, who are you, young man? Get right on that mic. Oh, that thing's going to fall. Try not to move it around too much.
Who am I?
Who are you?
My name's Carl,
And?
and I'm an alcoholic.
Come on.
What?
Where are you from? Who are you? Just because you were on the show 3 weeks ago, no one would have even thunk a North Carolina native or South.
I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville.
Y'all are ever in town? My home group is the Sandalwood Group in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And for those of you who smoke cigarettes, you still can smoke at my home group.
Yeah.
Except for Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Other than that, you can smoke or vape.
Oh,
Nice.
what's that like going? You travel the country. You are a transportational engineer and that's trucker for you dummies out there. I was playing that, Rick. I don't mean to call the audience dummies.
Okay, I'm offended now, bro.
Well, I called it logistical transportationing engineer, truck driver. But you travel the country, and I imagine just by the simple fact that we know you means you get outside yourself, you go to meetings that are foreign to you. What's it like traveling the country and checking out all these different meetings and getting connected with something like this? Talk to us.
So a lot of times it is like I'm that newcomer coming in because I come to a meeting or a clubhouse or something and I don't know no one. It's almost like sometimes I'm going to my meeting the very first time. So I have to get out of myself. I try to get there. I was raised 30 minutes prior, 30 minutes after. I try my hardest to get there.
What do you mean by that? 30 minutes? You're about to explain. Sorry, go ahead.
30 minutes before the meeting and 30 minutes after the meeting. I was raised that way in Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't care what program you go to, NA, AA, whatever. I go to AA. But I was raised 30 minutes prior, 30 minutes after. But if the group or the meeting asks, is there anyone from out of town, I like to raise my hand and announce myself because I am from out of town.
Right.
And it helps me get out of myself as well because a lot of times everyone knows everybody. Meeting's over, they're all congregating with everyone they know. And me being the outsider, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know. What do I do?
It can be a little jarring, but no. My question, just all I can base things on is how my interactions with you, and they've been great. This isn't a fair question, but I want an honest answer. Among the 50 great states, where have you enjoyed, beside your hometown, where have you enjoyed finding recovery the most? Like some of your best experiences across this nation?
I will have to say Minnesota. I'm sorry, but in the summer, not in the winter too much.
Down in Carolinas, do you guys get the snow like we do?
No,
You don't?
like on the western part, up in the mountains, they get snow, but not as much like you guys do.
Right.
But we get snow, Asheboro, Boone, all that. The Smokies, they get a lot of snow because of the elevations of
Oh,
that.
yeah, you're higher up.
Yeah, like where
Sorry about that, guys. Oh, I wasn't.
where I live, if we get 3 inches, the town is shut down.
I've noticed that, like I remember Texas got an icing down there, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I have a friend who moved down there, and she was like, I can't believe it. Everything shut down, cars in ditches, people like were stocking up like hurricanes were coming. I get that though. Like, and let's just use this. How does something like recovery help you in situations like that?
So it just, I don't know. I've been sober long enough that it prepares me like, all right, anything, adapt and overcome. It helps me like
You're a big proponent of that, adapt and overcome, right?
adapt and overcome. And it's like, okay, I know a storm's coming. I know a hurricane's coming. See, in North Carolina, a hurricane comes, this is how we roll, right? If it snows, They're going buying all the milk and bread. I'm like, what are you guys going to do? Like make milk sandwiches? But a hurricane comes. These fools go down to the beach and have a hurricane party.
Really?
Yes. Like water is way more worse than snow. Like you guys are backwards here.
A hurricane party. I love it. Oh, I got 10 comments. I'm sorry here. We got a big congratulations. Jalissa, thank you. You're always just beast mode when you're supporting the show. Thank you. Is there any way to show the dunk tank? I think that it'll be a great show. I don't know. I have to get permission just because of the anonymity. I'm quite all right with it, but the whole side of look at it from this point, and this is how it's explained to me, is if there's a newcomer, someone who's on the fence about getting into recovery, someone says, hey, check out Attitude for Gratitude podcast. They open it up, and they start seeing people's faces. In their mind, they're thinking, shit, if I go to this recovery thing, the whole world's going to see my face, and now they're going to know I'm an alcoholic. My job's going to find out. My mom. You see where I'm going with that. I never understood that until it was explained that way.
Or you might have professional people, like high up
Yeah,
professional
exactly.
people,
Executives
like maybe in your city council
Yes.
or the mayor. You never know.
I think we might be able to sidestep some of that because this is it's an event. I mean, put it this way too. Someone explained to me, this is not an Alcoholics Anonymous podcast. It's not a narcotic. It's not attached to anything. What it is, it's a recovery show. So I'm really not held to the traditions.
Yeah.
But I like to uphold them, and I want it to be safe for someone who were to ever come be part of this. So,
I'll say I'm an alcoholic. I do not promote anything with that, but because who I am, maybe there's someone out there that thinks they have a problem. They hear me and be like, well, this guy says he's an alcoholic and a transportational engineer. Like, I can do this.
I see it from that side, and that's what I've always thought was something like that. It's one of those deals when someone talks about molestation or rape or going through some trials and tribulations, to hear someone share about that openly could help another person open up and get more comfortable with themselves and find this new way of living. I see it that way. But I also have to be teachable and understand when someone explains the anonymity side to me. So out of respect for that, that's why I'm not sure about the live video stuff. And yes, of just me, I'm fine with it. And almost every guest I ever have says the same thing. Like,
I don't care. You can blast my face on there. You might end up putting it at the post office. But
Tara, you don't like the winners?
No, I do not.
The winners suck.
1 year. So now I understand why my grandpa said he will never complain about the heat again. Because probably about 4 years ago, I was in Mankato, Minnesota.
Yes.
During February. With the wind chill, it was negative 52 degrees.
Yeah, welcome to Minnesota.
And I was like, get me out of here. And they're like, oh, you get used to this. In my head, my logical thinking is, who in their right mind would want to get used to this? Not me. Like, I thought I was going to get frostbite. And my grandpa was one of the chosen few in the reservoir in World War II. So, and he had frostbite on his feet and that blistering cold in Korea. I'm sorry, I said World War II, but this was in Korea, the chosen few. He was in the reservoir and got frostbite and all this, and he never complained about the heat ever again. And now I understand, after being in Mankato with negative 52 degrees, I understand.
See, I'm on a different side here, and a lot of and I say this in the dead of winter. I will take, now minus me loving to ride, I'll take the winter. When it comes to working and it comes to just living, I'll take the cold over the heat. The reason for it, I can dress for the winter. What can you do in the summer? Get down to my undies? And then you guys will complain. But what I'm saying is, I'm serious. I can
Put your
dress,
clothes back on.
I can dress for the winter. I can't dress
But
for the summer. And
I
I'm
will-
a hairy beast.
I will say this. Here when it snows and it's 32 degrees, and if it's 32 degrees in North Carolina, it is colder there, or it feels colder there than it does here because our cold is damp with the air from like the humidity. It's damp and it's moisture. Here it's dry.
That like gets into your bones.
Yes. So, and here it's dry, and you have that snow that keeps the heat in. So for us, 32 is like freezing, but up here, it's not as it's yeah. And I've been here when it's 32, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And I go home to North Carolina at 32, and I'm like shivering. So yeah.
One of our listeners said, "I hate swamp ass."
Yes, that's what we call it. That is 100% what we call it.
So Carl, here's what I got to do now: is I need you to tell me something you're grateful for, and then go find someone to take your seat. What are you grateful for?
Something I'm grateful for, I'm grateful that like I get to travel the country and get paid for it. Like I actually get paid to see the United States. Like I never thought that would happen ever in my life.
And it's all legit.
Yeah.
I love you, Carl. Thank you for being on. And
Nice
you'll be
meeting
back-
you.
You'll
Nice
be
meeting
back
you.
on after you guys get back from the ride. You're gonna help. I've been advertising you as about a half hour to an hour hosting the show today. And you're okay with that?
Yeah. Let me go find my girl and I'll
All right,
get
yep,
her on.
Get it. Get after it.
All
So
right.
back to you, Pretty Ricky.
What's up?
Let me
I
go
cut
find
you
her.
off
She's
in the middle of you telling me about your ups and downs, and I know we're getting to a point. Oh, writers' meetings, and be quick. Tell me why you chose to do what you're doing today and why you're here still.
Well, I'm still here, man, because I don't want for the generational curse to continue in my family. I have 4 beautiful children. 2 are in recovery along with me, and I'm very, very grateful because I'm able to share my experience with them and go through this journey along with them. Man, I'm just really blessed, man. I've met a lot of great people in my life, and they haven't turned their backs on me, man.
We never will. I can speak from my side of the street.
I know you won't.
You know I won't. I love you. When I say I love you, I mean it. Sit on down, girl. Just for 1 minute, because your rider meeting is about to start. Please. Oh, come on, belly up, belly up. So, Ricky, you will come back on after the ride?
Yes,
You're
sir.
going on the ride?
Yep.
What are you driving in the ride?
Man,
about
I
that
was
real
just, well, just like a couple months ago, I had an 06 Street Glide and got a little too used to it, so I wanted something different so I can hang with the big dogs. So now I'm rolling in a 17 Street Glide.
Woo-hoo. So, real quick, tell me why you're even able to do that.
Because I put the work in, man. And that's what it's about.
Are you going on the ride?
I am not going on the
Good.
ride.
Then, all right, you're okay chilling while they're doing their thing. Ricky, get out of here and go get on the ride.
I love you, man. I'll
safety.
see you guys later.
Thank you for all the help.
And if you're struggling, man, please reach out for help, man. Because you're worth it. I love you.
Thanks, buddy. Who are you?
My name is Sam. How
I'm
are you?
Tim. Nice to meet you, Sam.
Tim?
Never met you before, and are you in recovery?
I am in recovery.
Sweet. So, tell me what you're doing here today.
Well, today I'm actually just joining you guys from New Way House 1.
New Way.
It's my second time over there. I had some clean time. I was in a coma in 2017 from my alcohol addiction, and I was able to make it for a few years, but life led me out to Las Vegas, and it did not treat me well.
Things didn't go well in Vegas, huh?
No, things didn't go well in Vegas. I actually, funny thing, I moved out there with Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour,
Okay.
and it was great at first. He's got 10, 11 years sober,
Okay.
so he was a mentor. But life started to get busy for him. Life started to get busy for me, and I started working in the casinos as an engineer. And I was walking down the sidewalk, and after about 2.5 years sober, there was a coin purse sitting on the ground. And in my head, I thought, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to look, and maybe there's an ID. I can turn it into security. Turned out to be a giant bag of cocaine. Yeah, and
Heck of a test.
yeah, and I took it home. And one thing led to another, and I tried it, and
You
that
just wanted to smell it.
yeah, I
just
just
make
wanted
sure
to
it didn't
smell it.
smell.
I know it was a little too close. Yeah, and once I did that, I realized I hadn't done it in 20
Eddie, here we slide that under those headphones.
Yeah.
So it stays.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan. So we're gonna do this, that. How do I turn this camera around? Oh, here we go, you guys.
XL in any just a regular t-shirt, or do you want me to find like the with the baseball sleeves on it?
Sorry, audience. I'm gonna try to let it see.
They're all, it's not, it's all and the sizes and the years. I can post it on 2018.
I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable about it. I have a background set up, and I don't know
It just
what
says,
just
it just
happened.
says
Try to make it so you guys can see.
and
There's about 70 people saying a Lord's Prayer and Serenity Prayer and doing a safety meeting. So that was pretty awesome. Hello. Welcome back to the 2218 Attitude for Gratitude Weekly Live Podcast. Woo, woo. Jordo, I need you in that seat. And that mic, as you can see, is about to fall off. So if you're able to just get as close as you can to it, headphones on, little mama, and talk to me.
I don't know.
Who are you?
I'm Jordan.
Jordan.
I am in recovery.
You're in recovery. I haven't had you on the podcast, but one time dressed up as Mrs. Claus. Hang on, Kim, you stay right there. I need a picture.
Actually,
of you two.
technically, it's been 2 times. I was Mrs. Claus on the podcast, and then I was briefly on it at Gopher State.
That's right, down in my little spot. And
Yeah.
you read some stories that made us all cry.
I cried too.
But it was a great story. It was about a bear or something. I don't know. It was awesome.
Yes.
So awesome, I can't remember the exact details. So, what are you doing here today?
I am raffle captain, so I am overseeing all the raffles and the people.
And what are we shit. So bear with us while we're listening to about 70 plus Harleys pulling out right now. And I got video of this I will post.
Yeah, it's all right. I was just about to start crying. I'm like, oh my god. I'm fired.
I didn't mean to get super heavy on you, but
No,
I think
no,
it's important for people to hear that shit.
No, we
because-
can touch back to that.
No,
because-
that's good because you walked through it with some dignity, grace, and you're learning through it,
Yeah.
right?
Are we back on?
We are back on. I'm gonna just go live on my phone just to confirm. Audience understands what this day is, and
Yeah.
they know that it's gonna be pretty choppy in and out. So you're telling us about all these hard ass hiccups you've been
Okay,
dealing with.
so before I found out I was pregnant, I was looking at getting another dog. So currently I have a 14-year-old, I have a puppy and a kitty, right? I was looking at getting another dog. And then I found out I was pregnant, right? When now losing my place to live, I think about, because we as human beings, we are so capable of feeling a multitude of emotions at the same time, right? And that's the beautiful thing about us is that we can feel grief and loss, but then also have acceptance and understanding and maybe a little bit of appreciation that things didn't work out the way that they did, right? Because of how hard those circumstances would have been. I just think about having a teenager, a new baby, 2 dogs, and a cat, and
that
trying to
can
find
get-
a place
yeah,
to
That
live.
can really start weighing on you.
Well,
too,
not to
right?
mention that, but trying to find a place to live with all of them. But here's the thing, is the blessing that came from this is I have worked really hard to fix my credit since I've been sober. And I'm working with a financial advisor and a realtor, and I'm looking at buying a home.
How does that, like, let's just real quick hit on this topic. Is the Jordan from, let's just say 10 years ago, if you were to tell yourself, like, yep, I'm going to be working, financial advisor.
The
Like-
drugs are good. That's what I would have said. The drugs are good.
She said this shit's kicking in. Is this something that you would have thought was just not even obtainable?
Not for a long time. I mean, the plan was teeth, right? And then after teeth, looking at a home and then considering that. And, I just got thrust into everything at one time and I was told not to worry about the house, right? Just the what I want. And then that money came through or is coming through and it just weights have been lifted and doors have been opened. But that's the way it's been my entire recovery, right? When I left my ex-fiance November 1st, 2020, and it was unplanned and quick, and I found the place that I lived that night, and I had a team of women that came and helped me deep clean, and I had friends that because the situation was so toxic, I could not finish moving my things out, and I had friends with a truck and trailer that wouldn't even allow me to go with and went and moved the rest of my things. I mean, doors just open.
That's recovery, right?
That's
I mean,
recovery.
the reason people showed up like that is because of the connections you made in recovery. Like everything you can aim back to recovery, correct?
Correct.
And like the blessings in your life today and the awareness to be able to see the blessings.
I mean, I wouldn't have any of this if I wasn't sober. I mean, I have low impulse control and BPD, and you throw drugs and alcohol in that mix, and it's a game of Russian roulette with bad decisions. I have zero control over my behaviors, and people think that's a ridiculous thing, but it's not.
It's real. I know. Matter of fact, you put a video up once of you were running, and like it was started off good. Then the next I think you were crying something, but you're talking about this BPD. And like I started going down this rabbit hole of researching it. Like, no, there's some real shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's
this isn't
difficult.
just made up.
They say that having BPD is equivalent to having third-degree burns over 90% of your body. That's the emotional pain equivalent.
And you have no control over what happens.
No, it's just brain chemistry. It's from trauma as a child that altered my brain chemistry, and I'll forever have this thing. But BPD work and recovery work are both moral compass work, right? And character building. And without even knowing it, by doing recovery, I helped combat my BPD. And, you know, now only 80% of my symptoms only show up when I try to date somebody.
It's kind of like, shit, now I don't want to date.
It's like, do I want to be happy or do I want to date?
No, here's the thing, like, for me that I think is amazing is you're not given this diagnosis, but you find out you have this thing going on, and is there a situation where there's a doctor saying, let's medicate you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can't really medicate for BPD,
Yeah.
but I am on like
Whatever.
yeah.
We don't need to know.
But
don't
yeah, I
care.
do. I do take medications to help.
Level
Yeah.
things. Because the reason I asked is
But
just with the research I did.
What I would say if somebody is wanting to do medications is do not just guess and check. There's a genealogy test now. I did a gene test where it shows you how medications metabolize in your system, which ones work and which ones do not. Because if you're anything like me, I spent years guessing and checking with no relief. Right? And so I worked with somebody who did a genealogy test, and then I did several assessments to pinpoint exactly where I was in life.
You responsibly took steps
Correct.
in order to deal with this the most healthy way.
And I meet with somebody bi-weekly now, and it has changed my life. And I will say behavioral partners, behavioral health. My girl Heather Young, whoop whoop.
Yeah, Heather.
She Heather got me connected. She works there. It's a great company. You can do video calls. So if you hate doctors and you've been on meds like I have and just tried and you are frustrated, get connected with these people because
Would you say they understand?
They understand. They work with you. It's video chat. You don't have to meet in person. I mean, and they just made it so easy, and they were so understanding, and they did all the right things like the gene test and this and that, and they went about it all the right way.
So the reason I asked is because, like I said, I did go down this rabbit hole of looking into this diagnosis, and it didn't really say there was much for medication, and it was more or less a shit ton of work on your end.
Correct.
And you have this foundation now with recovery and knowing who you are to a point of like you now have some tools to combat this, right?
Yeah.
In a way, or
And 30% of people with BPD commit suicide. 30% by the age of 27. Now, had I succeeded, I mean, I had 3 attempts by the age of 27.
And how long was it before you even knew what you had?
I was a year or 2 in recovery.
So it's something that's so.
Struggled in so many areas. I just thought I was this broken person, but I have this very real thing, and I'm so separate from my BPD characteristics than who I am. Like, they're different than who I am as a person at my core.
So anyone listening, like, she brought, and anytime someone brings up something like this, any type of self-harm or suicide or anything, I have a hotline up. It's dial 988. The 3 numbers, you can just pick your phone up, dial 988. Anytime, 24 hours a day, and someone will be there to listen, help, talk, give suggestions. The bottom line is, like, if you need to take it, go ahead. If you're struggling or if you're dealing with some stuff or you're having some negative thoughts, like, just reach out. Please reach out. It's worth the fight. You're worth the fight. I have tons of people come on air and share about their life and the way things are going and some tools they've been given. As you just heard Jordan, like, they played doctor for so long trying to figure out on their own, but then once in recovery, you start having a clear enough head to realize, like, let's just try some of the right ways and listen to some suggestions or what have you. And, like, I know personally, Jordan, you've lost, like, what, 100 pounds in the last 5 years?
40.
40, whatever. Looks like 100. Damn, girl. My girls smack me, hear me talking like that. But what I'm getting at is, like, you've gotten in touch with some health stuff, and that's really made a difference, right? And some different outlets. Yeah, there might be medication, but she also is dealing with some personal stuff that's we all can, is what I'm getting at, is you can deal with some of your own personal stuff by basically working on yourself. Be honest with yourself. And
Well, it's shadow work. It's all about shadow work because people think that they have to fight their darkness, but no, the real vulnerability and power is understanding it and understanding the dual sides of yourself. You know, the light and dark, that's where the power is. Because you can turn fear into power. You can turn fear into motivation. You can turn hurt into motivation. I mean, with great pain comes great change, right?
Who was on air? Someone was on air last night and just said that exact. I think Ken did or Rob did something. With great pain comes great change. That's like some Spider-Man shit. Great responsibility or great powers comes great responsibilities. Basically, what we're getting at is, like, you're still a work in progress. Like, you're still building on yourself and your situation, and it all looks positive.
Yes.
So, Jordan, what I'm going to do now is, because the show is Attitude for Gratitude, I need you to tell me what you're grateful for in your life today. Take your time.
My gratitude comes in my simple joys of life. So doing something new with my son, or painting and doing arts with my kid, taking my puppy to the beach, just like the laughter and happiness and being in nature and just my life. Really, I'm just grateful for my life because I took a step back from people. I really did an allergy test with life because I needed to see what felt good and authentic and what did not. And I slowly introduced people and places and things. And now I'm doing me. And you know, I have a sponsee. I work with people. I work with a sponsor. I do all kinds of service work. I do all the things that make my heart happy today. And I love my life.
And we love you. I have a question for you. I'm looking through my calendar, and when do I have Sam? Next Friday I have Sam B and his girl on. The following Friday, when are we scheduled for our show?
I'm pulling up
July
my calendar.
14th? No, that's
Podcast the 28th. July 28th.
July 28th. There, Jordan. Yep. So if you guys want to hear more of her story, because we're gonna dive in, as long as something doesn't come up between now and then, Jordan will be on July 28th, and she'll probably hop back on one more time before the show's over. Jordan, I love you. Thanks for getting a little vulnerable and sharing with the audience.
Hey.
And I'm gonna power on down until the people ride back in the parking lot. So thank you, everyone. We love you, and please, if you are struggling, please reach out. You're worth the fight. You're definitely worth the fight. And if you want to see some Recovery 101, come down to 2218 First Avenue South anytime between now and 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a blast. It's already kicking off. We're setting up the stage. We got the dunk tank. We got 15 different awnings filled with stuff. We got merchandise. We're going to have food, fun, dancing, comedians coming up here. It's going to be a great day. So come on down, share with everybody. Let everybody, you don't even have to be in recovery to come down here. Come check it out. We love you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're the shit, Jordan. Thank you.